Hey guys, so today I got an update on the 1995 Buick Regal, and it's quite a bit different from what you guys last saw it. And obviously I've stripped it quite a bit since you guys last saw it. Did find the cover for the 3800, so that's kind of cool. I've actually diagnosed a problem with it, and might need a new plug and wire, but not sure on that yet. But I already have those sitting around, so that's not a big deal. Pretty much all the glass and interior is out of this thing. This one just needs to be drilled out because it was the only window on this car that wasn't either bolted on or was just sitting on the mounts for the window. That one obviously was off the track already, so this is the only one that's left on the car, and this one happens to be actually still somewhat working. The motor's kind of fried on it. You can only get about a few inches at a time when you actually engage the motor, so hopefully I'll get in a position where I can, be able to drill out the rivet and pull this window out. But all the back windows are actually bolt-in, which I didn't know. Those little white plates right there, don't know if you guys can see that. There you go. Those were those had little bolts going through it, and after I unbolted that, the window dropped right to the bottom of the door. I'm like, sweet. Because I remember on the last Regal I ran just a few years ago, those weren't bolt-on if I remember correctly, but maybe they were and I just mistaked it to be rivet. So I drilled out rivets for quite some time. It was kind of a pain in the butt, to be honest with you, but luckily these are bolt-on anyhow, and I got the doors to function, which is always nice. What ended up actually happening is, if you guys look in there, you can see there's a whole bunch of rust. It was just all rusted up, and the door handle just didn't have enough strength to pull down the rod, or push down the rod, so this whole mechanism was all rusted shut. So I just took a pry bar and just kind of worked it until it worked. So plenty of rust. Once again, rusty car. Back end's all stripped out. Obviously I already got donuts on the back. I didn't even mention that. Gas cap was already missing. I'd like to put the gas cap back on, but it doesn't really add any structural strength, so it's just kind of going to be an open area there. Back window still needs to come out. All these back windows still need to come out. I really wish this was a bolt-on back window. I really wish that was the case, but it's not with these cars. It's actually sealed in there like a regular windshield or back window. And it's unfortunate because Ford figured it out on their Taurus. All you have to do is just do, I think it's 3 nuts, and even though it's quite a bit smaller window, you still undo 3 nuts, and then you just pull the window. There's going to be quite a bit of adhesive that comes with it. Actually, I still have that adhesive because it's such good stuff for just miscellaneous things. But these are actually glued in with adhesives, and it really sucks to take these out. Ask me how I know. I actually ended up doing it with a Sawzall last time. I was able to get her under there and do it with a Sawzall. Man, was that a headache. Interior's pretty well stripped. Airbags obviously are out. Did have a passenger side airbag, which I was up in the air about. I thought it did, although I was being told it maybe did not, but it definitely did. But believe it or not, it's only 4 bolts that holds in the airbag, guys, on these old cars. You gotta love it. You just pop off the top cover and just undo 4 bolts, and that airbag's right out. Actually, I think there is 1 bolt going through the bottom. But it's very easy to get to, so very easy to steal airbags out of these, but obviously not legal to sell them, at least in New York. This battery is actually pretty good. This battery was absolutely dead when we got this car, but or when I was trying to buy this car, but this battery's actually come back. Actually proved to be a really decent battery, actually, and I'm going to end up probably taking that out and putting in the collection of batteries. Unfortunately, it's not side and top post because I've been running into an issue when I go out and buy these. I need top post batteries, and I don't have them because they're all side posts now because I keep on buying these old GMs. Core support's already pushed in. That was the damage from what happened when we were trying to load it on the trailer. That's a story for another time. Don't really want to get into it. I will say it's not my fault. It's actually my father's fault. So, well, we'll just pretend we didn't see that. We'll end up pulling it back out. It's not any real damage. This core support's already pretty rusty. Honestly, I'm surprised it took the damage that it did without breaking right in half. So that's kind of impressive. I just don't know how we're going to be able to pull it out. We may just hook a chain or a rope up to this right here and just try to pull without tearing that too much more because it's already torn. So we ended up fixing the misfire in this thing. It ended up being this coil pack. I believe it was this plug wire right here was not making good contact, which it looks like it still might not be making great contact onto that right there, but let me go ahead and start it up for you guys. It runs a lot better now. You guys can hear it's running a lot better now. There's still a misfire a little bit, but I think they ran it for so long with it having a misfire that it probably fouled up the plug and whatever. So I still think that spark plug wire could be a little suspicious, but we'll see. But you guys can see. A lot better. A lot better. Still a little bit of misfire, like I said, but not terrible. You guys can hear it. Not constant misfire anymore, which it definitely was a constant misfire when it wasn't firing, I should say, when the other coil was on, which I cannot currently find it now, of course, but I'm sure it's somewhere in this car, and I might show you guys that coil at some point. But the entire tip where the coil, or where the spark plug goes on, is all black and soot. And I'm afraid this plug wire might be shot because of it, because inside you guys can see it's well, you guys can't really see, but it's pretty well and bad in there. And I'm sure that plug is bad because when you run a car long enough with a bad misfire like that, you can do quite a bit of damage to that spark plug, and that's probably what's happened. And you can also damage your catalytic converter, which I'm sure this one's probably not in the greatest shape anymore, but we'll end up cutting that off and still selling it, obviously. But under the hood here, it needs a little bit more work, obviously. Got to move quite a bit of wiring still, as you guys can see under there. As I just showed you the core support, there's plenty of wiring still going underneath. But the good news is that it doesn't look like this has the identical setup to the 3100. And the reason why I say that is because the wiring doesn't actually go under the motor and under the core support there, which is quite a pain. When I was building that other Regal, that wiring was quite a bit more difficult, I think, than this one's going to be. Although it is interesting to mention that there is a front motor mount instead of a side motor mount. I didn't even know this was a thing on these cars. There is no motor mount there. That's usually where the motor mount is on these W bodies, but this one is actually right on the front. So I don't know whether that's gonna help or hurt. I think it might help. And the only reason why I think it might help is because it's going to help the motor not try to flop forward, because it's sitting right on the front there, so it's going to have a harder time flopping forward like the 3100 did in mine. I still got to get this changed out. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with this, because I tried fitting the other motor mount I have onto this car, and I can tell you it didn't fit well. So I'm going to have to figure out something here without going, you know, too much against the rules. So There's another motor mount, which is kind of interesting. It's underneath the, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to show you guys. There it is. Yeah, I'm right on it. That's, I believe, a motor mount back there. It's all gooey and stuff now, but it's probably shot. But let's be honest, the motor doesn't move a whole lot, and I'm actually kind of surprised. Now, on the last Lumina I had, the green Lumina, I actually replaced both the side. Actually, I think I replaced basically every single motor mount on that car. Am I going to do the same on this? I may, just may, replace that bottom one because it's looking a little bit sad. But this one down here, this one that goes up into the motor there, is also looking a little on the sad side. As you guys can see, there's quite a bit of dry rot and stuff like that, and there's plenty of rust, so that might blow apart, and I may end up replacing that one. So it doesn't really make sense when you think about it. It's like, man, why would you just put a brand new motor mount in there just for it to possibly get destroyed? And the thing is that motor flopping around like it did in the other Regal actually was the reason why I got taken out. It's like a probably $15, $20 motor mount, and the price for that Derby at Mini Meltdown, I think third prize was $750. So you do the math. I think I would rather spend $20 on a motor mount and be able to get, you know, $750 back then anyhow. Now I don't know where this thing's running, so I have no idea what the price is going to be, if it's even worth it. This is definitely going to be a one run and done kind of car, I think, unless, you know, the front frame's completely straight and the back end's not too bad. That's the only way it'd be a 2-run kind of car. But this car is definitely more of a run kind of deal. It just happens to be that rusty. So, and I'm still not taking a Herkimer. I had somebody comment on my last video, you know, since it's so rusty, why don't you take it to Herkimer? Well, yeah, no, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen at all. But maybe, well, I'm just gonna have to find the earliest Derby I can possibly find, because it's still only mid-April, so I got plenty of time to work on this thing to get it ready for maybe a May Derby. I'm gonna hope for a May Derby, but at the latest, hopefully a June Derby. I really would like to not push this thing into July because I'd like to build the Camry wagon, but at least with plenty of time to build the Camry wagon, but who knows what happens. What's going to happen, I should say. This thing could run, the two could run almost back to back. That's kind of suck because that means I'd probably have to rush the Camry build, and I took my time on this one, which doesn't make sense. But anyway, that's enough of me rambling. I rambled plenty, of course, because I always do. And I'm not going to record a video on this car, so I'll just put it in right now. This is a 2006 Chevrolet Impala. It's just a project car. I bought it. Guy said it had a bad transmission. Turns out it was just out of transmission fluid, and it was slipping because it didn't have any transmission fluid in it. It was like 5 quarts low. And I still haven't found the leak. I'm not sure if it even has a leak. It might have been the original transmission fluid, and it might have just slowly deteriorated over time, I guess. I don't know. There's got to be a leak somewhere. Right? There's no way a car is just 5 quarts low on transmission fluid, so I'll have to find a leak and see if it's worth fixing or just selling and letting them know it has a small leak. I don't think it's a large leak because I haven't actively seen something dripping underneath. So, anyhow, this car is in really decent shape. Definitely not going to be a Derby car. This one's going to get sold. Bought it for $900. Sharp car. Used to be a undercover cop car, actually, and so it's kind of cool. It does not have steel spindles, unfortunately, because if it did, I'd probably steal them off and put some aluminums on, because that's what I'd do. But anyhow, that's enough of the Impala, that 06 Impala. If you guys want a video on this car right here in front of me, just comment down below. I'll give you guys a video. This one will probably be going on a future channel that I will be making very soon, because I do have some diagnostic stuff I want to do to that, because it's not perfect, even though the transmission isn't bad, it's still not perfect. Anywho's, this car is getting along and coming along, I should say. And so stay tuned on the Regal, guys. I know it was a lot of stuff that I had just done to the Regal, but believe me, it's going to be a lot more stuff by the time you guys come back. I'm going to be trying to get a lot more done on this thing, and it's really going to start to come together already. It's not even May yet, and this thing's going to be all pretty much ready to go, almost, I think. So, alrighty guys, stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye-bye, everybody.